Good evening. It was decided to do an event in Dubai on the 23rd of September. It was a Friday. By popular demand, we have shifted this event to 24th September, the Saturday, so that it would be convenient for you people to attend. So I'll be in Dubai on the 24th of September at 6 p.m. Hope to see you in Dubai. Those desirous of participating in the Dubai event can contact us at the WhatsApp number given below or mail to the email ID given below. We will see you in Dubai. Kindly drop us an email or send a message on the WhatsApp number. Good evening. As we did with Dubai, we decided to move the event in Abu Dhabi also by one day to Saturday, so that instead of 30th September, we'll have the event on 1st October. So I will see you in Abu Dhabi on the 1st of October. Those living in Abu Dhabi need not take the pain of traveling to Dubai. We will see you in Abu Dhabi on the 1st of October. Those who want to see me in Abu Dhabi may drop us an email at the address given below or contact us by the WhatsApp number that flashes below. My team will get in touch with you. Thank you. Good evening and welcome back to Be Rich. Today I wanted to talk about what is causing this dilemma in Fed. By the time you see this, the Fed would have attended the Jackson Hole meeting and we would get a peek into their thought process on how they plan to take things forward. But why is the Fed struggling so much? If you look at the minutes of the meeting, the Fed is torn between a dilemma where they want to keep employment up, at the same time bring down inflation. These are mutually contradictory. It's not possible to have very low inflation and very high employment. This theory goes way back to 1956, when a New Zealand economist, Philippi, took a history of data from UK and pointed out whenever there was a huge wage inflation, then it was accompanied by periods of high inflation. And therefore, if you have to crush inflation, the only way to do is to suffer employment. This was the theory till late 1970s. In 1970, you had a very strange economic situation where you had a stagnation with low economic growth but high inflation. Low economic growth meant you had high inflation and high unemployment. Normally it does not happen. Phillips curve tells there are an inverse proportion. That is, if there is very high employment, it is expected to have high inflation. The logic being, when there is high inflation, there is demand. And when there is demand for goods, but number of people are limited, businessmen and factory owners tend to bid up the rates of the wages. This correlation broke down twice. Once in the late 70s, when you had stagflation, where you had stagnation plus inflation, where stagnation meant there was no growth, there was no jobs. And since there was no growth and no jobs, this meant that people were not hiring, unemployment was low, unemployment was very high, wages were very low. What caused it? The cause was actually, you have to go back to 1971, when Nixon broke the link to the gold. That is, dollar to gold parity was broken by Nixon and money was printed left, right and center across Europe and the United States. This meant very high inflation. And to crush inflation, in spite of severe pain, Paul Volcker had to keep increasing interest rates forever, till finally inflation came under control and economic recovery followed. But another time when this situation was off the Philippi curve was at this time when you had a period of very low inflation, but still there was some unemployment problem. This happened because the low inflation was caused by goods coming from China and other Asian tigers, and there was job loss at home. So you had unusually low inflation, high demand, but no jobs, manufacturing jobs in US disappeared. And this was the time when people talk that Japanese would replace the Americans at the center of the world. Except these two times, Phillips curves have held it well. Then economists reformed it to a point where they introduced a concept called Nairu, which says the natural rate of unemployment. It says till the Nairu rate is broken, the correlation will not be there. Once the Nairu rate is broken, always there will be a correlation. Nairu rate says every economy has to have a minimum natural rate of unemployment. It is impossible to have full employment in any society. The moment the unemployment falls below natural rate, more people are employed than what an economy can support, you will have a wage spiral which will lead to inflation. At this point of time, during the COVID pandemic, the US government and the European governments distributed aid to everybody and anybody. This made sure even people who could work, were working, decided not to work because money was available. This set off the trigger of inflation. Once inflation started, it could not end. At the same time, the factory to the world, China and the East Asian tigers, were closed down because of COVID. That further exacerbated tightened supply of goods, and therefore inflation went up even more. The Fed should have tightened then. Instead, the Fed kept on saying that the whole thing was transitionary and the whole thing will disappear. While the Fed was talking transitionary, Putin decided to invade Ukraine and put the world energy markets on a boil. This heightened inflation even further because Russia and Ukraine are the breadbasket of the world, and therefore wheat prices went out of control. Sunflower oil prices went out of control, and because sunflower oil prices went out of control, all edible oil prices went out of control. Overall, you already had a wage inflation, and there was already underlying core inflation. This commodity pressure further heightened inflation, and that's when the Fed decided that it has to bring down inflation. But where is the confusion? I've explained everything clearly. The confusion is in the Fed's mandate. The Fed's mandate should be to maintain a low and stable inflation regime, irrespective of what is inflation. But there is another mandate which says that the Fed has to ensure employment. These are mutually contradictory. It's in normal circumstances, it's not possible to have high inflation and low interest rates because inflation will come. And now that inflation has come and caught fire, the Fed cannot bring down inflation to normal rates without affecting employment. A lot of people in the United States have to lose their job before inflation comes to normal. And that is what Philippi's curve has said. That is what Philippi's curve teaches us, in spite of two periods in American history when the reality was off the Philippi curve's plot. But now what it clearly shows is, as unemployment has fallen below the Nairu level, there is a wage inflation. In fact, analysts are saying there will be a recession because restaurants in US have been shut down because they cannot find waiters. So there is nobody to do regular jobs of being a waiter or other service jobs. Amazon is finding it difficult to find casual workers who will handle the goods in their warehouses. All this leads to a point where it looks to be a full employment in America, and this full employment is driving a wage spiral, which in turn is affecting core inflation. The Fed must realize that it has to sacrifice not only growth, it must be willing to take a large amount of pain by pushing into a lot of people into unemployment before they can bring the Fed rate back to 2%. My fear and everybody else's fear around me is the Fed will refuse to tighten beyond a point, and then the inflation genie will be out of the bottle once again. Thank you for watching Be Rich. If you like this content, press the subscribe button of my channel and turn on the bell notification. If you do not turn on the bell notification, you will not be notified whenever we put out a video. Once again, I thank you for your support for Be Rich. It's a great privilege and honor that so many of you in thousands have subscribed to my channel and have supported me. I have written 2 books in English, The Alchemy of Money and Ordinary Stocks, Extraordinary Profits. These books are published by us and are ready. If you want to procure a copy, send us a message to the WhatsApp number given below and my team would respond to you. If you want an Amazon Kindle copy, you can click the link below. Finally, those who wish to consult with me can send a mail to berichenglish@gmail.com. Once again, I thank you for your support. If you like this video, press the subscribe button of my channel, hit the like button and turn on the bell notification.